Thank you, Dame Caroline, and it's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship. I'd like to first commend my colleague, the Honourable Member for Harrow East, for bringing today's debate on extending the lease of London Zoo under the Crown Estates Act. I do so particularly because London Zoo, as many of you will know, will come under my new constituency of the Cities of London and Westminster, and I'm sure my friend and colleague, the member for Westminster North, will be devastated to lose it in the boundary changes, and I'm delighted to hear that she had so many great experiences there personally and as the member previously. Madam Chairman, I know well of the incredible work that ZSL does in terms of both local community as well as efforts for scientific animal conservation. Personally, I visited London Zoo over many years. My family and I were members of London Zoo, and we had so many visits when my children were young, and I will always remember particularly the gorillas that were always my children's fascination. But as my time as local councillor in Westminster, I also had the good fortune of visiting London Zoo on several occasions. In fact, my first ever official visit as Cabinet Member for Public Protection and Licensing was to the zoo, to actually visit the tigers. They didn't have much to say to me, but it was fascinating to see the work behind the scenes, and it was very clear that we do, no matter what the debate is, can often be about zoos, the conservation work that London Zoo and zoos across the country do is so important for the global animal conservation. But I also saw how important it was of their work to educate children in how important it is to ensure that we work on the conservation of animals in this country, but with global partners as well. And I also am very aware, as the Honourable Member for Westminster North has pointed out, the very, very important role Regent's Park London Zoo plays in the tourist offer for London, for central London in particular, and we know that it has had a huge dent to London tourism since the COVID pandemic. It's slowly building up, but that's why we need to have the offer for families as well as individuals to be able to come to London and enjoy the West End, the restaurants, the other tourist attractions, but also London Zoo. And as we know that since opening in 1828, it is the oldest scientific zoo in the world, and that's something that I think we really do need to be proud of. And over the past nearly 200 years, much has changed in the surrounding area, and it obviously indeed within the zoo itself, and particularly as the Honourable Member for Harrow East has pointed out, but home to nearly 700 species of animals, from lions and tigers to penguins and meerkats, and obviously the gorillas, as I mentioned earlier. But since its conception, the London Zoo has never compromised on being the best for both conservation and research, but also for visitors and everyday tourists. And as I said, the incredibly important scientific research that ZSL continues to undertake helps support conservation and ensures that endangered species are protected in the wild, from the Sumatran tigers to the rare Indian purple frog. And contrary to common belief, the zoo and the conservation work that is done in the wild go hand in hand and are mutually reliant. And I think this is absolutely key to note. Not only does London Zoo offer a sanctuary to endangered species, it also provides training for the next generation of conservationists. And I was really, really impressed to learn about the zoo's I think, outstanding community access scheme that it set up in 2019, which initially set out to offer over 100,000 subsidised tickets to low-income, elderly and disabled people, so that they could also experience the zoo's offer at a little more than a tenth of the price of a regular ticket. So here is again is an example of London Zoo opening itself out to the local community. And I do, as I said, believe that it's so important that we continue to support London Zoo as a nation. And this is why I think it's so important that we support the Honourable Member's quest for an extension to its lease. Because we must make sure that it can continue to thrive as it reaches its 200th anniversary. And I therefore want to support my honourable friend for his campaign to persuade the government. And I do hope the Minister will be providing us with a positive response today. If not today, perhaps at my honourable member's colleague's second reading of his private member's bill, I think on the 24th of March. It is important that we succeed in amending the Crown Estates Act so we can extend the zoo's lease by 150 years. The current 60 years now is ridiculous, and if we don't extend it, as we've heard today from colleagues here, there will be implications for the ability of the zoo to raise further fundraising money to continue its work, and also to encourage investment from the global partners, because without that investment, we will not be able to continue its outstanding conservation work. So, Dame Caroline, I will end here by saying that I wholeheartedly support extending London Zoo's lease in Regent's Park for as long as possible, but I think we can live with 150 years at the start, as I believe it is imperative that we give this great institution the protection it needs to be able to support the generations of conservationists for the coming years. Thank you.
Yeah.